Hey everyone, welcome back to Season 1, Week 4, recruiting, scouting, and strategy episode. Week 3 is my favorite recruiting week, but Week 4 is probably a close second because we get to see where we stand with the guys that we targeted after Week 3. Before we jump in, just a quick recap of last week's game. We really took it to Nevada, as the headline says. I think beating them 43-7 was unexpected. And as you probably know, we simulate the first half. So we were up 16-7 in the first half. And then when we took over, managed to put up 27 points and hold them to 0. And for somebody like myself who doesn't play a lot of defense when I play this game, that was pretty good. And it was just eye-opening to see our offense play so well against a team, again, that on paper was better than us, even if it was just by 1 or 2 overall points. Just some quick stats recap here. Wheatley had a huge game. Completion percentage was down, but yardage was up. He had a big 51-yard bomb, 2 TDs. Great to see him play as well as he did because our running game has been very solid, and we've just been waiting for a passing game to kind of catch up. And last week it looked like it did. Rushing, Jay Dukes is a real deal freshman. 30 yards after contact, just about 4.5 average. Wheatley did well, and then just some minor carries here. Receiving, Blount had a huge game. Adam Williams went down, I think, early in the third quarter, but he was able to get a touchdown for us, I think, in the first half. But Sanders and Blount really stepped up, so that was great to see. Blocking, we continue to block well. No sacks given up. But a bunch of pancakes by some of our top guys. Defensively, led in tackles again by a cornerback. Not great to see, but he is making the tackles. And then here's just a quick recap overall. Offensively, putting up 515 yards, almost 200 yards rushing. Again, just a great game. 5 for 13 on third downs only. I think when we lost to Arizona, we might have been 0 for on third down. So it's good to see us convert at least a little bit. Red zone at 87%. Looks like 7 out of 8. Not bad. Forcing 2 turnovers, 2 picks, which is good to see. So overall, just a great game by our Lobos. All right, now let's jump into recruiting, see where we stand with some of the guys that have been on our board and some of the new guys we added. Dominic looks like he's going to be a lock, although we don't have a visit yet, and we're a ways away from that. But continue to go up by 500, which is good. And we have, I think, 2 other outside linebackers that I'm excited about. One is Brandon Burley there, down at the bottom. But let's move on. Leon Gore looks like a solid receiver, good speed, good acceleration. Anthony Cook, another guy in New Mexico. Him and Dominic are the top 2 guys in New Mexico, so we're hoping to lock that down and lock down the state of New Mexico here. Bernard Greer is a junior college center. That would be great to get. We continue to pull away from Rice, from everybody, so that's good to see. We'll see if he's ready for a visit. Yeah. So we're going to go with Rice just because he's a junior college guy. Nobody else is after him. I think we can lock him down week 9. Sean Bradshaw is our 3-star JUCO guy. Hopefully his skills go up and he gets to be a 76, 78 type guy. William Washington is a 2-star junior college guy. Again, hopefully somebody that maybe he stays at 72, somewhere around there. We'll take that. He could jump in right away and play. Brandon Burley, he might be the guy I'm most excited about out of our linebacker crew just because of that acceleration. Play recognition is good. Based on everything else I see, it looks like he could jump to a 68, 70 type player. Nick Mark, we do need a safety. We have Anthony Cook on the board as well. Nick Mark is maybe not as good, but we continue to gain ground with him. I think I'm just going to offer him a scholarship here, and that would help us, lock down Oklahoma as a pipeline state as well. Glenn Swain, we're going to say he's somehow related to Craig Swain, who is playing for us right now. But it looks like a solid D tackle. We continue to gain on him. Looks like he's going to be a decent player. I'm gonna put 55 more points into him And then we're at even 100 pulling away from UTSA. Kennard Carey, somebody I'm just not willing to put that many points into him, being a 60 overall. Although let's check our other corners here. Vincent we're gaining on, and I think we just need points elsewhere at this time when we've got some good returning cornerbacks coming next year. So we'll hold off on Kennard Carey. Maybe we can jump back in late. We'll see. Jonathan Francis, decent speed, decent acceleration, and power moves. Somebody we are gaining on 100. I think because his speed and acceleration is average, I'm just going to hold off on offering him a scholarship as we continue to gain ground here. So we'll keep putting 100 into him, but hold off on a scholarship. Marcus Neal is a scrambling quarterback that we're on the lookout for here, out of Missouri. We continue to gain 130 on him. We did add a few more quarterbacks to our boards. We're going to see how that shakes out, what their interest level is, and if we want to continue to put 200 into Marcus Neal, or maybe we drop it down to 100. We'll see. Lee Johnson, another outside linebacker I'm excited about. Looking forward to see what he actually turns out to be, but his speed, acceleration look good. Again, seasoned strength, tackle, play rec. Hopefully that all stays, as well as man coverage and zone coverage. If that all stays, I think he's going to be a great player for us. Michael Sisk, a guard. I believe we're losing points on him last time, so I don't know what has changed. Maybe Monroe, maybe their play style changed. I'm not sure, but I'll keep putting points in him if we're gaining 10, and I am going to offer him a scholarship. He's probably going to be late sign, so if we get a visit, we'll schedule that for the week 10, I believe. Hunter Wilcox losing 120 after putting 500 into him at 60 overall. We added another guard, I think our old lineman, to our board. So I'm going to take the 500 away. Daniel Washington looks like a decent running back, but running back's not a need for us. We've got solid young guys. Jay Dukes is going to be here for another 2 years for sure. But we're gaining with Daniel, so we'll keep him on the board and we'll get him a scholarship and see how that shakes out. Marcus Gray, somebody we're losing points on. He's a junior college guy, I believe. Yeah, junior college 1-star. Just not willing to put any points on him. We'll see if we continue to lose 105. He's probably somebody we'll remove, come week 8 when we want to add some more guys that are out of our region. John Wiley, looking good on him, gaining 130. Because we have John Wiley, I felt okay taking 500 from Hunter Wilcox. And we're going to put more into Wiley here. We'll go 250 and see if we can't pull away from Colorado. Dwayne Smith, 1-star JUCO. We'll see. Gaining on him. He's got some decent speed and acceleration. Again, as long as we're gaining, I don't think I'm going to offer a scholarship or put any points on him. And he's a 1-star JUCO. So we'll just keep riding it as is. Daryl Jenkins, JUCO running back, losing 50. I think with how we're doing with Daniel Washington, I'm just going to let this kind of ride out as it is. I don't see us, putting a lot of effort into getting Daryl with Daniel on the board. Even if Daniel wasn't, running back's not a need for us, so we'll see how this goes. Ben Dixon might be the worst receiver in this class, but we've got him on our board. We continue to gain on him. Worst comes to worst, we sign him and develop him. Maybe he surprises us, but he's already dropped 4 after just that one initial scouting. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll keep him on the board. Daryl Vincent, decent speed, decent acceleration, man and zone, average, which we'll take. He's got good agility. So I think, we're going up 160. He's got a scholarship. I am going to pump this up to 140 just so we're going up an even 200 here. But Daryl's the only cornerback we're going after right now. We'll see if that changes come week 8. Keith Newsom, again, free safety is a need for us. We're going up 140. I don't see a need to offer a scholarship or pump any points into him, but we'll keep him on the board. Rob Mitchell, again, tight end, not a drastic need for us, but we continue to gain on him. I thought his numbers looked decent. CJ Walters is a guy I added, I think last week. He's the only addition just because I found somebody, a 4-star guy that shouldn't have been on our board, and I replaced him with CJ Walters, who was interested. But looks like we took the lead. I'm not sure if we gained points or what happened there, but we're in the lead on CJ with San Jose dropping. So I'm going to hold off on offering him a scholarship just because of the fact that he's not a mobile quarterback like we need. And we've got 2 other guys here that'll come up that I might be more interested in. All right, now we're into guys that we just added last week. So first one was EJ Marshall, wide receiver out of Arizona, a 3-star guy, 63 overall. Scouting looks decent with speed, agility, acceleration. Catching is down there, but if one of those bumps up, we're going to be just fine. Ben Barnes out of Arizona. I think these first couple of guys are from Arizona, but a 1-star fullback. I really liked his squat and bench numbers when I looked at him. His speed is good, acceleration's decent. You can see his running, for a fullback is decent. Blocking, maybe not the best, but he is a receiving fullback, and the more athletes I think we can get, the better. Again, I think he can maybe double as a halfback, as a tight end as well, even though his catching is not that great. But I was just impressed with his speed and his strength, so he's on the board. David Davis, 6'6", 222, out of California. Decent speed, acceleration a little bit low, but a taller guy. I can kind of look over that and let that go for a little bit. Catching is decent with spec catch and route running up there. So excited to see what happens with David Davis. Jake Miles, a 3-star out of California. Decent speed, average acceleration and agility, but his catching looks like it's solid, route running solid, and his release, I shouldn't say solid for those, it's average. But that looks good enough to me to add him to our board and be excited about him. Nick Anderson, 2-star tackle out of California. I'm pretty sure I like this guy's squat. I think it was 6'10", and bench was in the 400s, which indicates he's pretty strong in blocking, so we're going to add him. Speed, not that great, but he's a tackle, so not a huge deal. You can see average pass block and run block, but I think those are going to go up as well as impact blocking. So I'm guessing he's going to jump to 63, 65, something like that, maybe even higher. Andrew Lewis, 65 defensive tackle out of California. Justin Bryant was a quarterback. I believe we were 5th on his board already, so I had somehow missed him. But a 6'6", 228 QB out of Florida. Average speed, acceleration's good, average throw power and accuracy. And we're losing 20 on him. He's a quarterback I'm most excited about, so I'm going to max him out at 500. John Stewart, 6'1", quarterback out of Idaho, listed as a scrambler. Speed is a C, acceleration D, throw power, accuracy is a C. But John Stewart, we gained 440 on him. I don't know if that's going to carry over into next week, but we're going to leave him with no points. Hopefully continue to rise up his board. Daniel Clark, athlete out of Missouri. Not exactly sure what position he's going to play. It's not on defense. It might be a tight end. Might be a fullback. Maybe O-line. I can't really tell, but he can catch. He can catch in traffic. He can truck. He can carry. But his speed and acceleration is not that great. Strength is average, which is good. So I'm guessing a fullback tight end, but looked like just a decent athlete that we can add to our board. And I love adding athletes. I love finding gem athletes. We'd be excited to get him. Corey Gray out of Oklahoma. Again, I think after this recruiting class, I think we can get Oklahoma as a pipeline. But Corey Gray is a sophomore JUCO out of Oklahoma. 6'4", 275, good size. I believe his squat and bench were good, which is why I added him. Good acceleration, run block, impact block is up at B. I think he could be a 75 overall, something like that, but that would be huge if we could get him. So our last 5 points are just going to go to EJ Marshall. And I'm just going to browse through and see if I can pull some points off anybody. Vincent's going to keep him. Wiley, we want more in. I think Marcus Neal, we're going to get 75 on him, so we'll only be going up, I believe, 5 points, but that's okay because he's not somebody, he's not the quarterback we're most excited about. So we're going to take those points, and I want to put him into Corey Gray because it'd be huge to get this guy, as well as that center, Bernard Greer. All right, so that's our recruiting board for week 4. Again, we added 10 new guys last week, 10 guys that I'm excited about. We'll continue to see how it shakes out every week. And again, week 8, we're going to be able to add guys who are 65 or lower from outside of our region, so anywhere in the U.S. And Canada, I suppose. But our recruiting class is shaping up. It's looking good. It's not going to look like Alabama's. We're not going to have 5 and 4 stars. It's going to be a lot of 1 and 2 star guys, a lot of 3-star guys. Hopefully we get some gems, but the idea here is to develop guys, and as they become juniors and seniors, hopefully they're mid-80s, maybe even low 90s. All right, with recruiting done, let's start scouting New Mexico State and come up with a solid strategy. All right, let's dive into scouting New Mexico State here. I'll start with the head coach. We'll start with the head coach here, Doug Belk. Offensively, West Virginia's playbook, which is going to be air raid. Looks like they are going to pass a little bit more than they run, but not by too much, not enough to say they're pass heavy. Looking at the aggressive, conservative, looks like he's fairly conservative, or not fairly, he really is conservative. My guess is that that's short passes and the screen game more than deep shots. And they're not going to go no huddle. Defensively, they got a 4-2-5, much like us. They're going to defend the run and the pass almost equally, maybe a little bit more of the run. Looks like they're slightly more conservative again on the defensive side, but pretty well balanced as far as, bringing blitzes. All right, as we look at the roster, again, this is Coastal Carolina's roster that was uploaded with the most recent roster upload that I did. Again, I don't have the revamped version. I'm just working on the old school version. But as we look at the roster, very good on the defensive backfield. Looking at Mike Dawson here. He's got the speed, got the acceleration. He can tackle decently enough. And if he doesn't tackle, I'm sure there's other guys flying to the ball. If he misses, he's going to be able to cover well. His play recognition is really high. So somebody we really have to look out for. And there's a reason there's a star by him. Zach Lewis, equally good in the defensive backfield. The thing that jumps out to me is the man coverage, the zone coverage, and the press are all, coverage is really high. Press coverage is decently enough against our receivers. And then his play recognition is really good too. So somebody we really have to keep an eye out for. He's a good tackler. And if 2 good defensive backs weren't enough, they got a third one in Donnie Robbins. Again, good speed and acceleration. Coverage is high, press is high, play recognition is high. Tackling is decent. He's not as good as the other guy, but good enough to get the job done. So really have to keep an eye out on these guys as we pass, and even as we run to the edges. Nick Moore, the left outside linebacker, good speed and acceleration, so he's going to fly around. His block shedding is decently high, so somebody that could cause some problems for us. Offensively, we're going to look at Antoine Quinn first. They've got 3 tight ends that are within their top 3 players. So I don't know if they get them all on the field, but for a tight end, good speed, great acceleration. All those numbers are dangerous for our defense. So the catching traffic, the route running, and even the blocking. And then the number 2 tight end, Oscar Howard, he looks like a problem as well. Decent speed and acceleration. His catching is up there and blocking is up there as well. So we'll see how they utilize these guys. And I'm hoping our linebackers or safeties can match up well enough with them. You can see their defense is probably the strength of their team, with the linebackers here and the DNs. But again, Tim Johnson, their 3rd tight end, decently good enough, but we're going to jump to Jeremy Allen, the running back. Good speed, good agility. He can break some tackles. He can truck. He's elusive. He has good vision. So somebody who's good enough to do a lot of damage to our defense if we're not in the right spots. And then last player we're going to focus on here is their quarterback, Gavin Houston. Pocket passer, 78 overall. Not somebody who's going to run, so that helps us out. He's got decent enough awareness and throw power and accuracy where he can hurt us. But I'm hoping our D-line can take advantage of their offensive line. And again, make him make some careless throws and maybe we get 2 picks off him. All right, let's look through their depth chart, see if we can find any weaknesses here. We talked about Gavin Houston. Their backup quarterback looks a little bit more mobile. So if Houston does go down and Stevens comes in, we got to be aware of that. Running back wise, looks like Jeremy Allen is by far the best. I like our matchup, with our cornerbacks and their wideouts. They're not fast, aside from Demetrius Williams here. And then they do get their 3 tight ends in there too. So if any of these guys get tired, if they run out of 4 or 5 receiver sets, the tight ends will be in there, and I'm sure they can do some damage. And there's the strength of their offense, their tight ends. Again, I'm curious to see how they actually use them and what kind of formations they run, if they get 2 guys on the field at the same time or not. Left guard, 69 overall, something I think we can take advantage of and blitz up the middle. Right guard, another low, 64 overall. Again, I'm hoping we can take advantage of this and blitz more of the inside and put pressure on their QB. Nice to see a strong safety isn't a strength at all. Might be their worst player, 63 overall. Again, maybe something we'd take advantage of. If they're in that 4-2-5, they're going to have 2 strong safeties most likely. So Estes is a 73. But both guys I think we could take advantage of, both in the pass game and in the run game. Their kicking game doesn't look strong. And then their long snapper is their left tackle. All right, last thing we have to do is spin our random events wheel and see what's happening with their team this week. All right, we've got arm talent, which gives us +2 to throw power and throw accuracy. That's going to be great for Wheatley. All right, and we did get 4-star interested, which means that we can target a 4-star low lock recruit. So we'll have to get back into recruiting and do that either this week or next week. All right, that does it for week 4. We've recruited, we've scouted, we've strategized. Now it's time to play the game. Thanks for watching, guys.